Oh, here we are again. I'm about to put the last coat of varnish on. This will be straight varnish. So what I did was I removed the tape, the first layer of tape. Now I'm on the original tape that I put on in the first video. So this will be the final coat, and you can also tell I still have to tape the inside again. So with the rough surface tape, and I'm going to be roughing up this surface. This varnish has been sitting for about 4 days now, so I'm actually going to be scuffing it up with a rough Scotch Brite red. That's about a 320 to 400 grit sandpaper. This is good to knock down any dust that got into this varnish and to rough up the surface, because it has gotten too hard to put varnish directly on it, so I need to scuff it up anyways. But the point is to smooth out the surface, take out the imperfections, and then I'll mask the inside on the deck, and then we will varnish on the outside, and I think we will be good. So here's the red Scotch Brite, and basically just put it down, and it will scuff it up, scratch the surface nicely, and it'll get into all the curves really easily. So I'll go over the entire toe rail with this, and the nice thing is it doesn't remove too much material, but it will scuff it up enough to accept the final coat of varnish. So that's where we stand today. And okay, we're at the tail end of the project. I'll probably have 1 or 2 videos after this, but I am at the point of putting on the last coat of varnish, which is going to be full strength, regular high gloss varnish. And it'll probably take just under the half quart here. Probably be about 10 or 12 ounces. This is a 16 ounce can or so. I have my China bristle brush here. My go-to brush is soaking in paint thinner because it had a lot of buildup on it. So I'm getting ready to put it in my cup, strained of course. And just wanted to show how thick this varnish is. So I poured it into the strainer, and you can see how slow it is actually taking to sift through the strainer itself. So this is much thicker than the other varnish that I was using. The other varnish I used was to build up a lot of coats without having to sand between coats. Basically it's the same type of varnish as this, but it has something in there that will allow you to recoat without sanding, so that's why I use that. And we're just waiting for this to go through the filter. I stirred it well, and now I'm just waiting. So after this, I will go up on the boat and start putting the varnish on. Okay, we're on the boat, and I already put a little bit of varnish on already, but I just wanted to show you the steps that I do when I apply the full strength varnish. I take the tack cloth and kind of work it out and kind of make it into a ball, and then just wipe over the surface because there could have been some dust that settled overnight. So I kind of want to get that off. Do that like moments before you put the final coat on. You can see that the surface is pretty smooth. It's not perfect, but it's pretty smooth. So I think the varnish will look really good. So basically I just keep wiping this till I'm sure that the dust is settled and on the tack cloth. And then I will go to my bucket. I have my little box here, which is holding the cup, and I have it taped to the box so it doesn't go anywhere. I love this magnet. So when I load up the brush, I only put a little bit on, and I tap it on the side of the can. I do not slide it across the edge like most people do. You don't want to remove product. You just want to get any kind of excess off. So you still want the brush loaded, but you don't want it to drip because you don't want to drip it on your deck. Now that the brush is loaded with varnish, has varnish on there. You're going to find that this varnish is pretty thick and you need to apply it a little slower than normal. So when you slide it on, just let it go. It'll tell you how fast to go. And once you feel it getting dry, turn it over. And the nice thing about this particular varnish is it takes so long to dry that you don't have to really worry about a wet edge too much. But when you blend into existing varnish, you need to slowly remove it, kind of in an arc. You do not want to have an abrupt stop, so when it dries, you will not see that mark. And I'll put some on the top, and then again, flow into the existing varnish. And again, you can work it a little bit to make sure that it doesn't drip, because this varnish is actually known for sagging a little bit. If you put it on too thick, you'll come back an hour later and you'll see all these waves of sagging varnish on the vertical surfaces. So you got to be careful about that with this varnish. But once it's done, this varnish is really glossy and it has a nice amber tone to it, and it just makes the teak look really, really nice. Here we are once again. The varnish job is actually done. I just have to pull the tape off, but I pulled a small section off to show you. I don't think it looks half bad. If you're here in person, you will see some minor imperfections, but overall it looks pretty good. That's what it looks like on the inside. There was some bleed under and I did have to scrape some off, but overall I think it came up pretty good for an amateur. So that's where we stand, and so far this took me just over 65 hours total. From starting to scrape to this point is about 65 hours for this job, just for the toe rail and 8 coats of varnish. So just to give you an idea, if you want to tackle this job, what you're in for. But that's where we stand now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Thank you.